Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube. Welcome to another presentation of the Solid Sports video blog. Today's date is August 19th. This year is moving fast, right? 2025, episode 305. So I know it seemed like it's so long ago we celebrated 300. We had 305 now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for the latest support the last few weeks. I appreciate you guys so much. Um, Y'all have been very, very supportive. The subscriber count has gone up. So I appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, the blog even been doing well. My video game playthroughs been doing well. We got, like I said, I told you between August and the end of the year, we're gonna have a lot of new projects coming. So stay tuned. Of course, I'm doing Mafia right now. Um, Gears of War, I think, come out next week. So we'll be on that. Ninja Gaiden will continue. So I've been trying to do a lot of content today, try to get Mafia done, so I can start getting into uh, Gears of War hopefully next week. Um, what's today? Is Tuesday, so tomorrow we got a live. It'll be Pacific Drive again. Like right now, the end of rotation is that and Fabulous Skies. I gotta work on Fabulous Skies as well because, like I said, I got lost in the last video, so the last live last week, so I gotta get that straight. But thank you guys so much for the latest support. This might not be a long show today, not a lot to really cover. Um, like I said, the summer is not a lot of news, especially in the NBA. It's nothing going on in the NBA at all. I might just look through and touch on some things that might jump out at me. Um, but we're gonna go over the MLB standings again. Now, teams starting to separate themselves and make a playoff push for October. So we'll look at that. Of course, NFL news. Everybody been looking at the Browns. They named the starter Joe Flacco. Not a surprise. I get my deeper thoughts on that and look around the league. Parsons still ain't signed for Dallas. With the coincidental thing is last night Bengals, um, Commanders played last night. Both of their top players that's not signed played against each other. Trey Hickerson, of course, for Cincinnati, still not signed, and Terry McLaurin for Washington, still not signed. But Washington's offense looked good last night without him, but Cincinnati defense is bad also. So, but I give my deeper thoughts on that as well. So, but like I said, thank you guys for the support the last couple of weeks. I appreciate it, and I definitely been keeping my eye on a lot of things, and I appreciate you guys so much for the support. Um, so let's take a look at the MLB standings real quick, get this through, and then we'll maybe touch on a little NBA stuff. American League East, Blue Jays still holding on to that first place lead. Um, it's not a surprise because I'd always thought Toronto was a good team, just in a tough division. Yankees and the Red Sox. Well, the Red Sox actually is overachieved this year. Yankees, it seems like it's been a disappointment, but they both 5 games out of first place in the East. Tampa Bay Rays, like I said, I still respect them as well. They 3 games under, but every day that the organization has gone through, losing a home field for this year because of the storms last year. Even though it's been a quiet hurricane season so far, knock on wood to the people down south. Um, but they still hanging in there. Baltimore Orioles been playing better. Like I said, I'm from Baltimore, so I see a lot of local Orioles stuff. They've been playing better. Just swept Houston down in Houston. Beat Boston last night, so they've been playing better baseball, but still big hill to climb. My big bro here, he's a huge Orioles fan. He still got faith that they can make a push for a wild card. I'm honestly, if you had to tell me today that they will make it, I would say no. Just too many teams in front of them. But all you could do is control what you could do. So keep winning. Maybe things will fall into place for them. But they're in last place, 14 and a half games out of first place in the American League East. Central Tigers, they struggled a little bit, but they've been playing better. They now have an 8-game lead, 8.5-game lead over the Cleveland Indians, with 10 wins and 10 up on the win column. So Kansas City right there as well at 9. So those three teams probably going to push for playoff spots. Minnesota to me is disappointing. Like I said, I just think if you just look at the roster, the veterans they have, you just think they would be a better team. White Sox 45 wins on the season, 28 out of first place. West, despite the Astros struggles, they in first place. Seattle 1.5. Texas has fallen off. They're now 7.5 games back. Like I said, I still think Houston probably wind up winning this division. They just wind up winning it every year somehow. Seattle, sort of. I don't like to use the word curses or jinxes or stuff like that, but haven't been in the playoffs since 01. Hopefully they at least break that streak this year. But it seemed like the Astros just find a way to get it done. But 1.5 game out for Seattle. Still a lot of baseball to go. They was just at first place. Even Houston been losing, but somehow Seattle is still a game and a half back. So that's why I'm like, it's just sometimes, that's just how it goes in Houston. Just not to win this division. What's up, King? How you doing, man? Thank you for coming through. I think, hopefully, man. I was so assume since you got King in there. So, the rest of the West, I mentioned Texas, Angels 9 back, and the A's 13.5. Let's go to the National League. Phillies got some cushion, 5.5 over the Mets. The Mets, been struggling a little bit, but got it together this week. Had a good week this week. Marlins 13. My Braves, I already said as a Braves fan, this year is probably done as far as postseason. We just gotta focus on the offseason, getting healthy, adding pieces that we need. Washington Nationals, 21.5 games out in the National League East. National League Central, same with the Astros. The Brewers, at least of late, is dominated the division now, 9 games over the Chicago Cubs. Cincinnati Reds, 6 over 514 back. St. Louis, 18 back. And Pittsburgh, 27 back. Dodgers, big sweep of the Padres this weekend. Get back in first place. Like I said, the Dodgers, I think they one of these teams in sports, even though baseball is not as much as like football or basketball. Basketball, really. Because football, either you got to pretty much be sharp all season long. But I just think, like I said, I still think the Dodgers, as far as the National League, is still the team you're looking up at, even though they don't have the best record right now. I just think once they get in the postseason, things will be a lot different. Padres, though, had a rough couple of days. They get swept. And then the Giants beat them last night as well. Giants, though, 10 out of first place. In the West, then you got the Diamondbacks, 11.5, and then the Rockies, 35 games out, only 36 wins on the season. So now let's look at the wild card standings. American League, your top 3 teams, all pretty much in the virtual tie. Yankees, Mariners, Red Sox, all in a virtual tie. For the Yankees, I guess, with tiebreakers, they're the number 1 wild card. Seattle's number 2, Boston's number 3. Cleveland 3 back, Kansas City 3.5, Texas 6, Tampa 6.5, LA Angels 7.5, Minnesota 9, Orioles 9.5. That's all the teams that's under 10, which is pretty much almost the whole American League. A's 12 and the White Sox 22.5. National League, Cubs, big cushion for the number 1 wild card. They 4+. Padres 2+, 2.5+. Then you got the Mets in that final wild card spot. Then Cincinnati is 1. Then there's a little bit of a gap. St. Louis is 5. Giants is 5.5. Then the Diamondbacks are 7. Miami 7.5. And then after that, everybody else is over 10. My Braves included. Braves, Pirates, Nationals, and the Rockies, all +10. Rockies 30.5. out of wild card. So all those are teasers. But I always say, especially now, if you 10 or more back, it's pretty much a done deal for you. Um, Hard to make 10 games up, even though it's a whole. It's what just off the top of my head. I would have estimated it's about 40 games, maybe close to 50 games left in the season. So mathematically, you're not out. Even Colorado, still not out at 30 and a half, but uh, you're not going to lose every game. You're not going to win every game either. So just on that logic, being back so far, it's just going to be hard to come back from. But like I said, you start to see teams separate. You pretty much going to see who's going to be in the postseason in baseball. So we'll see how it looks next week. Sometimes a week can flip and change a lot of things within a week, depending on how teams play. So we'll see how this looks next week, and that's it for our MLB talk for today. NBA, like I said, it's not a lot going on in the NBA right now. It's the off season. Basically, it's just gossip, which I don't normally really get too much in, or rumors and stuff like that. But one thing I did see that the Lakers are going to give Pat Riley a statue in February during the season. I don't got a problem with it. He was part of the Showtime Lakers. He was the coach through that run in the '80s. Pretty much him, uh, Phil Jackson, I guess, was that second tier when the Lakers went 3 in a row. And then he won 2 with Kobe Bryant, so he won 5 there. So I guess Phil will get 1 too, eventually, if he don't already have something there. So the Lakers are like the Yankees, basically. They like to like how the Yankees had Memorial Park and on all their players and coaches and stuff. So Lakers do the same thing. So this is not a surprise. But honestly, since he been with the Heat for so long, under the Heat organization so long, I remember him more for being with the Miami Heat. But he was an integral part in the Lakers' success in the '80s, a huge part of that. So I guess the Lakers felt like they had to honor him. So no problem with that. Should be an interesting to see. A lot of the old Lakers will probably come out, Kareem and Magic and everybody. So it'll be interesting to see when this happens in February. Say February 22nd against Boston, of course, which is I guess that's a good team to do it against because the Celtics was your rival throughout this whole NBA history. They're the 2 top teams basically. So not just something I wanted to just touch. I wonder if some people, I'm sure some some fans probably thinking, why, but he was, like I said, in the '80s. Pat Riley was a big part of that Lakers success during the '80s. And then he went to the Knicks and had success. I guess because he bounced around. It kind of don't. I would say it don't feel right, but it feels a little, if it wouldn't have happened, nobody would have a problem with it either. Like if they decided not to honor him, but he was a big part of that Lakers organization, especially in the '80s. So, but yeah, he went to the Knicks and then went to the Heat. The Heat pretty much is him. The court is named after him. The Heat is no question. Lakers, like I said, make you pause and just think. But he was the Lakers. Like I said, they got stars on top of stars. That's what they pretty much their brand is. So this is just another way to show that. So congratulations to Pat. He's getting up there too. I think he's in his late 70s, I believe, if I'm right. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing on that date. So I just wanted to touch on that. But other than that, not no NBA news really. Like I said, I'm just interested to see, of course, speaking of the Lakers, how they're going to turn out this year. The East is interesting because Halliburton going down for the Pacers. Um, can Cleveland take advantage of that? Cleveland and the Knicks. That's basically the big question because Boston also no Jason Tatum this year. So can other teams in the East take advantage of the wide openness in the East, if that's a word? I probably just made that word up. Sorry, but Boston, like I said, Boston, Indiana is going to pretty much sleepwalk through this season. Or could it be another team in the East from nowhere? Can Milwaukee take advantage of this? The Heat. Um, but I think right now the two top teams in the East is the Cavaliers and the Knicks. So a lot of interesting storylines. The Spurs, how that's going to work out. Wemby's back. Um, um, the Thunder, can they repeat? That's going to be a quick question, a big question during the season. The Rockets getting the red. So it's a lot of storylines going into the season that I can't wait to get into. But in September we'll start. I think last year I did. I took the in-season tournament brackets and broke them down. So I might do that again starting in September to get ready for the season. Um, Probably start the first week of September. I'll probably start doing that. So stay tuned for that for the NBA. NFL. Let's move on to the NFL. Well, biggest news to some people, but not a surprising development. The Browns naming Joe Flacco the starter. I mean, it was obvious he was going to start. I guess the question is, who will be the backup? Will it be Shador? Will it be Dylan Gabriel? Dylan Gabriel struggled a little bit. It was a Saturday when Cleveland played. Um, Pickett hasn't played because he's been injured. It's going to be between one of those three guys. Just going off play, I would say Shador is in line to be the backup. He has to be. He's played the best throughout the preseason. Um, but like I said, Pickett not playing and Gabriel, he's been hurt also, and then he only played pretty much just one game. Yeah, Shador he got hurt, so it depends on how the Browns looking. Um, I think they just want to establish that Joe is the starter. I think they figure the other stuff out maybe after this game this week. So, but in my opinion, I think Shador deserves to be the backup. Just off, like I said, unfortunate events that people get hurt and things of that nature. But I just think he's shown that he should be the backup. But we'll see what Cleveland do. Um, but as far as that, other teams in the league, as far as quarterback starters, like I said, mostly, and this is rare. Most of the teams around the league has they started, so probably only the teams that that you really, really have to figure out who they started is the Saints for sure. And I talked about this with somebody. Um, with their quarterback situation, probably got the worst quarterback situation in the league right now. But me personally, I mean, this might sound crazy, but Taysom Hill been there. I would just start him. Be honest with you, I would just start him. Have a wacky offense. The offense would be a little wacky. A lot of read options, stuff like that. But he knows the organization. He know the offense. He's been there. I would just throw him out there and just basically hope my defense holds up. And that's how I would roll if I was the Saints. But you want especially in this league, you want somebody that can. Well, traditional now is somebody that can move and throw the football. But I think what was it? They was on. I think they played Saturday as well. I glanced at a little bit of it. Both quarterbacks has been up and down for them, so we'll see if they figure that out. But other than them, I can't think of another team that. The Colts with the Richardson and Daniel Jones. We'll see which way they go. I would go ahead and start Rich because he just got the higher ceiling. Daniel Jones, you already know what he is. And I think the problem with Rich is he's been hurt, so he hasn't played a lot. But he's old school, and I mean old school by he needs time to develop. Like he needs time to develop. You see that he has the skill set. Some of the throws that he make It's unbelievable. But sometimes he makes simple mistakes, like hitting his check downs, the turnovers and things of that nature. So, um, but I would lean towards starting Anthony Richardson if I was the Colts. Um, but me honestly, just for outside looking in, I think they might start Daniel. Um, but other than that, everybody else, who's going to start. Um, Pretty much everywhere else in the league. So um, we'll see how things happen there throughout the league. But yeah, I'm real interested to see who the backup would be for Cleveland, who will start for the Saints, who will start for the Indianapolis Colts as well. Let's see. Um, so like I said, yeah, so I did touch on this. Let's see, what was the score of the game last night between the Bengals and the Commanders? What's up? Don't want to mess up your day. Uh, Let me see. I'm trying to pull up some NFL. Oh, here we go. Scores. Yeah, that's what I want. Oh, Bengals won 31-17 last night. Let me just look at some stats. But hi, bro. I'm just gonna call you bro. I don't want to butcher your name, but appreciate you coming through. Appreciate everybody that's coming through and watched. Let's see. I need a box score then. Cause how long? I don't think with Burrow and Jalen Daniels. How long did they play? Did they play a couple series? Did they play the whole first half? That's why I'm trying to pull up this box score. Um, but like I said, I mentioned these two teams. They played last night, but in similar situations. Yeah, it must have been about a series or two. Burrow only threw 14 passes, but he had a touchdown. Let's see Washington. Let's see Jalen. Wait, oh, Jalen didn't play, did he? Well, he ran the ball. He didn't throw any passes. Or did he just come in for that one play? Yeah, he don't. He's not on the pass chart, so he ain't throwing any passes. Guess what? He was in there. He ain't throwing any passes. Okay, so that's weird, but okay. Um, but yeah, I think ESPN and other sports media basically asked the question, who needs they player more? Of course, the three biggest players on the docket looking for a contract: McLaurin for the Washington Commanders, Trey Hickerson for Cincinnati, and Michael Parsons for the Cowboys. Um, of course, the Cowboys are talked about a lot. They basically said that basically Parsons, this might be different this time, which it feels different to me too. Usually Dallas will play around, wait to about a week before the season or a couple of days before the season, sign them. But this looking like this is really going to go into the season with Micah. Trey Hickerson as well. I think Cincinnati, um, when they gave the money to Chase and Higgins, I think they made a decision that they might let Trey go. We'll see if he'll play and hold out during the season as well. Terry, I'm gonna say Washington because I really believe if Terry's not there, that's gonna, um, I guess disrupt might be a hard word. I think Washington still. I believe in Jalen Daniels. I think he still be decent, but Terry is a big part of their offense. So I think that's going to be an adjustment. I think Cincinnati defense is already bad. So I think Trey will make it a lot better, but I still think Cincinnati defense will still be bad with him. So if you're just going on the field, I think Cincinnati I'll probably put third. I guess I put Micah second, but I think Terry not bad for Washington. That's definitely the number one. They need him more than Dallas needs Micah and Cincinnati needs Trey. Um, but I'll put Dallas second because um, Micah, as far as their defense, he's a disruptor. He helps out the secondary and everywhere else. So not having him, Dallas defense will struggle a little bit, I think. But Cincinnati, no matter if Trey there or not, Cincinnati defense is bad. So that's why I would easily put them third for that reason. But we'll see. I mean, things happen. You know how sports is. Like all three of them might be signed within a day or two. Like that's possible. Like all three of them might get something done. The one I least that think will get done is the Cincinnati one because I think Cincinnati they known for choosing who they want to pay. I think if they wanted to pay Trey, they would have paid him. So I strongly believe that that's going to be either he's going to be gone or the contract's not going to happen. Micah, I still think it happened because I think Jerry, he pretty much admit he liked just to be in this news for whatever reason. So I think that could happen. And the Terry thing could also happen. Also, I believe that could happen maybe before the season also. But the Trey Hickerson one, I think that's probably a done deal. I think he's gone or, they're just going to let him sit out or whatever. Uh, and they already said they've been entertaining trades for him. So uh, I think Cincinnati's about to move on from him. So um, we'll see about it though. But I think the Bengals basically going to have to be a team that just got to outscore you this year, just like last year. Um, and I think they looking at it like, well, we was the worst defense in the league last year. We can't be no worse than we are. Um, Washington, I think that it hurts them more because I don't think they, I don't want to say they don't have a chance against Philadelphia, but um, I just think their offense is going to have to make some adjustments without Terry McLaurin there. Debo Samuel, um, we'll see what he brings. I mean, maybe they thinking Debo can sort of step into that role and be the Army Swiss knife on offense. Maybe that's what Washington's thinking. And Jalen, like I said, Jalen is a dual quarterback. So I think they'll still be fine. But I really think this is going to be a big impact for the Commanders. Going against Philadelphia and the other top teams in the NFC, I think you got to be have a fourth deck, have all your guys to compete in the NFC and in that division for sure. Dallas, like I said, I don't expect much from Dallas this year anyway. I did think they'd be sort of middle of the road team, even with Micah there. So um, that's why, like I said, I think Terry not being with the Commanders is a bigger impact uh, for this season. But what we are 2 weeks from Thursday from the season. Of course, speaking of Dallas, they start in Philadelphia. That should be a great night to kick off the NFL season. Can't wait for it. Um, Next week, probably not, probably the week after, probably the week of the season, I will do my NFL special, prediction special, which this year is going to be tough because it's a lot of good teams this year, especially in the NFC. AFC, like I said, is Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo, and then there's a tier under that. Those three teams is going to be there in the AFC. NFC is wide open to me. Other than Philadelphia, I would give it to Philadelphia right now, being the top team in the NFC. But after them, everybody else have questions. But it's a lot of good teams as well. The NFC North with Minnesota is an interesting team. Can McCarthy step in there and get that Minnesota offense with Jetta and everybody? Can they still compete? Um, Green Bay, Tampa in the South, the West, the Rams. Stafford is practicing, so that was big news for the Rams. So he'll be ready for the season. I think the Niners is a sleepy team. The Cardinals as well out west. Um, we'll see what Seattle is. So it's a lot of good teams in the NFC to contend with. So we'll see. This is gonna be a great, great season. I can't wait. I can't wait to the preview special. We're gonna do that no matter what. I'll probably do it on a Wednesday. I announce it as time go on. We have a regular show next week. So can't wait for all those things to happen. But other than that, y'all, I think that's about it for today. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. Um, Hi, Helping Hearts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. You've been a supporter for years, off and on. So I appreciate you. It was good to um, you reached out. That made my day. That made my week for the rest of the week, even though it's still early in the week. But I was very, very happy to hear from you. So thank you. Um, but yeah, that's our show for today. Other things going on with the channel, like I said, August, like I said, we've been having a lot of good content. I'm gonna try to, matter of fact, I'm gonna try to do a Mafia video. Everybody liked the last video, so we will go into chapter 4 with that. Um, Ninja Gaiden will continue. Ninja Gaiden, Rage Brown. Uh, and like I said, tomorrow night we'll be live. Pacific Drive. We'll get into that again tomorrow night. So join me tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Friday night streams, of course, we still doing that this week. I announced the game. I always decide sometimes at the last minute what game I'm going to play. I did get Madden. I'm still playing around with Madden. I did get Madden this week, so maybe it might be Madden. I know I did college football last week. It might be Madden this week on Friday night stream. So I might go back to something we already played. I did Cyberpunk. What I did Cyberpunk last week, right? Yeah, I did Cyberpunk last week. My bad. I did college football the week before. So I did Cyberpunk, the DLC. Um, Virtually the first part of the DLC. So I'm gonna get into that as well. I might post some videos on that, but yeah, that's it. That's it. Like I said, it's the summer, so it's not a lot of sports news. Unless anybody got something that you specifically want my opinion on. Other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up for today. Next week, don't know exactly what day I'll be on yet. Gotta check my schedule. But like I said, it'd be the Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and I try to announce it as soon as I know what day and on. It'll be around 10 in the morning, like always. I know last week or the week before? I know we did it at 12. Um, but usually I like to do it in the morning, get it out the way, and then I do my other content throughout the day, off and on. Um, but like I said, my work schedule, usually I work in the morning, so um, by the afternoon I could get kick some videos out for you guys. And like I said, we had 366 as I speak, or 367 right now, I think. As of right now, sometimes the numbers go down. It'll go from 364. It's been going from 365 and then back up to 367. But we had 367 as I speak. Like I said, 500 is one of our goals we want to reach. My birthday is in October, so I guess hopefully before my birthday we be at 500 subscribers. That's my goal. So help me get there. I appreciate everybody been coming through. Definitely like to hear from you. Definitely comment. Definitely comment either live or not. I definitely reach out to all my comments, and I thank you guys for being here with me this morning. So last week of the preseason of the NFL. So next week, we'll start looking into the regular season. Major League Baseball. We'll see what changed in the week for between now and next week. We'll look into that, and if any NBA news pop up, or if there's anything else y'all guys want to talk about, let me know, and I'll try to touch on those things. I do touch on a lot of another sports, like the WNBA is another big topic, but Caitlin Clark ain't been playing, so you see how the WNBA sort of simmered down because she's not playing. So gotta admit that she's she's the coming attraction for the WNBA. Angel Reese, also a lot of people like with Angel Reese. I'm happy with Angel Reese, but I think Caitlin set the bar high. So where she's not playing is sort of, which is unfortunate because Angel Wilson for the Vegas for the Aces, she's unbelievable as a player, but she don't get as much attention as Caitlin and Angel does. But or like I said, NHL. I don't really touch on the NHL much, or golf that much, or tennis. but I do follow those things as well. So just basically what I'm saying is, tell me what you want to talk about, and I'll touch on those things. But until then, I see you guys tomorrow night. I see you guys tomorrow night. I'll be live with Pacific Drive. It's an open chat. I usually be in the chat as well, and I'll be on my mic. So uh, definitely come tomorrow night and join me. Look out for some videos today, and I see you guys. I hope you guys have a good rest of the week. This week so far, it's Tuesday, so still early in the week, but can't complain. Things going all right. Still got a couple of days to work this week, but I see you guys tomorrow night. I see you guys tomorrow night. Check out my video throughout the day. I had some videos out later this afternoon, and I'll see you guys then. I'm Troy West said, thank you so much. Thank you guys for the support. Y'all been great the last few weeks. We've been growing slowly but surely, and I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you guys next week. Peace and love always. Thank you for joining me this morning. Have a great week. See you guys tomorrow night.